Divine greetings. Today we're going to get into another Pranic reading. Welcome back to Pranic Pages. This is Jerome Shaw, host of the Open Palm podcast, motivator, meditator, coming at you with another Pranic reading today. And today we are reading once again from Cristiana Eltrayan's book, the Pranic World book, and we've already begun our introduction. So if you are here and you haven't seen the introduction, you can go back. It'll be in a playlist as well, the Pranic Pages, and you'll be able to see the introduction to this. But today we're going to be starting chapter 1. So we have just begun. And I trust that you'll receive a few nuggets of wisdom from the experiences and the expertise of these wonderful light beings. So thank you for listening. So chapter 1, Pranic World, Pranic Detox. And this is an informal reading, so during the reading, as we're proceeding, I might touch here and there on some different topics or any highlights that we can make known and discuss a little bit further as we dive a little bit deeper. As I traveled this summer to many countries in many days, being a speaker in all the Pranic gatherings around the world, today I am beginning to write about the wonders of these journeys. This is the beginning of the Pranic World book, and I know it will continue as a series as many adventures have gathered in my heart. I wish you all benefit from these writings as my heart pours into them. But let's start with the beginning. Pranic festivals and Pranic people. As I got back to Italy at the beginning of the summer, I got imbued in the energy of the Pranic festival. Many people, many nations, lots of prana, full days of work, many surprises, outstanding colleagues. As the guests were coming and I was doing my job, heaven started opening and love was pouring in incessantly with all the support and grace that heaven showers over us when we're doing a good job. As this is the sign of human evolution, when people really open and believe that a higher consciousness is possible, that healthy communities with harmonious sharing are possible, then paradise on earth is revealed. Now, I want to just pull back the layers like a banana peel as we reveal what may be concealed. There's always more than meets the eye. So when we're discovering why and seeing that higher consciousness is possible, that healthy communities and harmonious sharings are possible, right? And a lot of times we think that things are possible for those people over there, but we do not become aware that they're possible for us. We don't necessarily have faith and trust that it is possible in our realm of reality. We don't always share that mentality. But I feel like it is only an eventuality when you start to continue to consume this kind of content and you perceive new perception. When you have a new perspective in the collective, you can come to the realization that what's possible for one is possible for you. That you too can experience what others have gone through, and others have grown through, and others have known through community. For as we say these words, come unity, right? Community, where we commune, where we are in tune with each other and attuned with each other, fine-tuned with each other, in harmony, making beautiful music, celebrating the body so we do not abuse it. You know, being able to choose it so we don't lose it, right? I think it's a wonderful thing to learn how to use it. So I too went to Italy in the Pranic World Festival. I had the beautiful opportunity to be invited out by Nicholas Pilart. Shout out to Nicholas and Raffaella over there in Cocore, in the Fabriano province of Italy, at the Eden Pranic Center. And that was the first time I was at the Pranic World Festival, and I got to speak there in person. And I think it was a wonderful opportunity because I met so many beings, just like Cristiana is talking about, so many light beings who were doing so many things that I had never seen before, you know? But they were all in the same place, you know? So many faces from so many places had come to the same gathering to celebrate, to appreciate our human evolution. So it's a wonderful thing. If you can, you know, I think it's worth making the trip. You know, traveling is something that we might pay for, but it enriches us. So it enriches you to get around like-minded individuals who are learning and growing in the path that you see yourself growing as well. So just a testament to that, to say that there's really nothing like getting around that energy and being around that energy. It can really lift you into another vibration, to have that communication, you know, and collaboration with co-creation. Pranic festivals are always a blast for me. They show me the best of humanity, the highest of community consciousness. And they also show me the pain and struggle of the human angels that are trying to accept humanness. People coming from higher realms, very delicate, very tender sometimes, wishing and aiming to be the best versions of themselves, gathering together to share this wish and learn from each other. As they share their knowledge and wisdom, they truly bring forth new realities, creating new possibilities for the whole humanity to evolve. It's a beautiful thing to know that we can all evolve together, you know? And one of my passengers once said, as I drive for Lyft at times, she said, if it don't evolve me, it don't involve me. I love this. She said, if it don't evolve me, it don't involve me. Meaning that if your association and co-creation is not elevating you to a higher station, would you want to be in that same congregation? You know? Ask yourself that. So be around others that lift you up. Be around others that encourage you, that enthuse you, that inspire you, that enlighten you, that empower you to be more, to explore, you know, that implore you to soar and not try to put you down. Get some of those types of people around. In each festival, I saw portals opening above the gathering, and each participant being nourished by the energy of them, and also nourishing back the portal with their knowledge and wisdom. That is then to be sent out into the universe. Each portal is connecting to the other portals opened along the planet with the other pranic festivals, and so they form a grid that nourishes the planet and holds the frequency of pranic nourishment and pranic consciousness, helping all that are ready for this to tap into it. So amazing to witness. My highest wish is to be a part of this and hold space for this to be channeled through on Earth. There is no one way to pranic living. The most important part of it is aligning to the pranic frequency and allowing it to circulate through and nourish the body. So let me read that last passage one more time. There is no one way to pranic living. The most important part of it is aligning to the prana frequency and allowing it to circulate through and nourish the body. So allowing it to nourish and flourish, allowing it to circulate and percolate throughout the vessel, resonating with that frequency and allowing it to nestle within. For the more you lighten up, the more light comes in, right? The more you discontinue, the more light comes within you, right? It's these paradoxes, these principles can seem so simple, but sometimes we'd rather make them hard. So understand that if we are tapped into certain frequencies by what we do frequently, then that will be our realm of existence. That will be our reality by practicing certain modalities, and having certain mentalities. Pranic processes and end results. My main work at the Pranic festivals was to help people understand that there is no one way to pranic living. Now, we talked about this last time as well, that there are several ways up a mountain, right? There doesn't have to be just one straight shot. You don't have to go up this way. You don't even have to go up that way. You can go up a completely different direction and still be able to see the same horizon, still have the same view with what you do, right? The most important part of it is aligning to the prana frequency, allowing it to circulate through and nourish the body. Most of the people I had met had the belief that it is going to be a short process and then boom, the pranic frequency is suddenly attained. Never to leave us again in this lifetime. Oh, are we in for a rude awakening, right? But the experience that I've had with all the pranic people I've interviewed for the Pranic Consciousness Summit is also with all the ones that I've met at the festivals, most of them being my friends, is that the pranic journey is a journey. Come on now. Now let's just real quick, let's just touch on this, because we talk about the realization that there is no destination, right? We got to continue to keep having this conversation to understand that this journey is lifelong, Not saying that there's a right or there's a wrong, but it's lifelong. Just like they call meditation a practice. Why do they call meditation a practice? Like sometimes we're standing, we're doing qigong, holding our arms in the air like cactus. But you realize it's a practice, right? It's something that you do again and again and again and again. So realize there is no end, with the time that we spend. There's no end. Now, for a certain type of person, they might be saying, Jesus, really? For the rest of my life? There's no destination. It's all in the journey. It sounds cliche. It sounds, but there's beauty in that. There's beauty in the journey. There's beauty in knowing that you're growing that. You look at a tree, right? You look at any tree in the forest. We don't ever look at a tree and say, oh, that tree is dying, right? Even if that tree has been here for decades, hundreds of years, we never say that tree is dying. What do we say? Oh, that tree is growing. It's still growing, right? Because deep down, you have an inner knowing the tree is still growing. You could be the oldest trees, like the banyan trees, big old trees, right? And they still have green leaves, fresh green leaves. What does that mean? What are you seeing? You're seeing growth. So there's nothing to brag, there's nothing to boast about endless growth. In fact, it can be some of the most powerful feelings that will be revealing with that healing. Understanding that we're always peeling, right? So there is no end, my friend. But that is actually the beauty, is that you can always keep that Zen mind, beginner's mind, realizing that you can keep going. So that was a big realization for me, but one that I realized that would set me free. To understand that, okay, I'm doing these energetic exercises today, but then I get to do them again. Because there is no end. It becomes your lifestyle, a style of living, which is a style of giving to yourself. But it's one of the best things that you can do for your health when you don't put a deadline, right? There's endless time. So, as any journey, it might have twists and turns, ups and downs, and sometimes even ins and outs, because generally the body system is like an antenna or a radio station. And sometimes it takes a while to fine tune to the right channels that bring the best, most beneficial music to nourish it. So as you're doing your energetic practices, whatever they may be, be meditation, yoga, relaxation, contemplation, whatever tunes you into that frequency, whatever brings you joy, these are like harmonizing to that station that's always playing that music. You've been given a body, and this allows you to use it in a different way. At the festivals, I met people coming out of 10 days, 8 days, 11 days, 9 days processes or darkroom, expecting to have integrated fully the pranic experience, never to get back to the normal ways of eating again. Experience showed me that most of the times, the pranic process is just the beginning. And most of the journey follows after, to some. The pranic integration also depends on the type of lifestyle that one has had before the process, and also of the lifestyle one adopts after. That's a big point. So I remember listening to Ray Mayor have this talk about integration, and he was saying how integration was just as important as the pranic initiation, that most people overlooked or underestimated reintegration. What happens when you go back into society? What happens when you go back around your loved ones, your friends, right? There's a saying, if you think that you're enlightened, go and spend a week with your family, right? That's a wonderful saying because it's true, You might think that you grew, but then go back to your old crew and then see how you do, right? One that has been a long time meditator or lived in a fine communion with the universe through various practices like music, self-service, devotion, yoga. Oh, selfless service. That's a good point. Jasmine made that. And I remember hearing an interview where Jasmine talked about selfless service was actually one of her pranic ingredients for the recipe of maintaining that frequency of what we do frequently, was actually selfless service, to be in service, to be on purpose with something that you are giving and having that spirit, the spirit of giving in pranic living. Devotion, right? Like bhakti. Yoga, even sports to some extent, can integrate the pranic initiation easier and maintain a harmonious rhythm after. As his antenna is already tuned to align to this pranic frequency. So you become attuned to align with the divine. It just takes a certain amount of time. On the other hand, One that has had a common lifestyle until the process, maybe whole full days at the computer, right? Hours of working in a beta brainwave frequency and in a mostly unconscious way of operating through life, might have a fabulous breakthrough and awakening with the pranic process. It might recall some initiations and skills from other lifetimes, if any, but then a lifestyle and frequency alignment in the day-to-day life is necessary for the body to be nourished by prana only. Now, this is something I saw when I was living amongst the monks and nuns from Myanmar, when these monks from Burma, they were Burmese, they allowed me to stay at one of their properties. They had a mansion that was donated to them from Lake Elsinore. And I was living on the house in the hill, right? In California, Lake Elsinore, overlooking the lake on a mountain, right? Just chill on the hill, right? And I was just spending so much time in stillness, letting go of all illness. And in that state, I was able to go from good to the great because I had time to appreciate solitude. You know, I found solace in my silence and solitude, and I didn't have all these other energies around me interfering with my field. So much was able to be healed and much was revealed within that field. So, you know, when you're able to work on yourself day to day, work on your health day to day without any disruptions, you can go leaps and bounds. You know, you can make progress within 6 days, what might take somebody else like 6 weeks, right? It can really get you there. The idea that after a pranic process, be it 8 days, 9 days, 11 days, 21 days, without a preliminary action, you will be completely immersed in the pranic state without the need for physical food again, is twisted by default. This can only happen to some, those who have aligned their bodies to this pranic state through lifestyle, detox, and practice before the process itself. So those are 3 key things: lifestyle, detox, and practice, right? So making it a lifestyle, a style of living, continuing to detox, continuing to fast, you know, and letting that fasting state be the long-lasting state, and then practicing your modalities to experience that new reality, right? It's only a matter of time when you tune more into the divine. To some, it has been via years of meditation and high-powered research, Nassim Haramein. To others, it has been meditation, lifestyle, and grace, Jasmuheen Pralajani. To others, it has been intermittent fasting, meditation, and maybe a health necessity that urged them to shift, like Henry Montfort, and so on. But all these examples did have a previous alignment time that was eventually led them to manifest the pranic state. And a lot of people have questions of, well, how long will it take, right? How long will it take to reach this pranic state? How long? How long? How long? And just like Martin Luther King said, don't ask how long, right? How long? How long? Realize that it's something that you learn to love. You know, that's how we really rise above, when we approach it with love, instead of approaching it with a certain time, a certain strict deadline, right? But when we just allow, we let go of the how, we discover it's happening now, you know? If time is a solution, or if time is an illusion, then really the best solution is to just let things be, you know? That's the way that you and me can be free. Let it flow and let it go. That's allowing yourself to grow in its own timing. Just like the tree, right? Just like the flowers. I remember hearing a quote from Lao Tzu in the Tao Te Ching that said, nature never hurries, yet everything is accomplished. Think about that. Is the flower complaining? Is the leaf complaining? Is the tree complaining about how long it's going to take to fully develop? Nature never hurries, yet all things are accomplished. So it's going to happen in its own time. Instead of asking how long, just embrace with love. That's how we rise above. The mere idea that you could jump off the chair of your 10-hour per day IT job, immerse directly into a pranic process and get out there fully able to be nourished by prana only and maintain this state at home would be exceptional, to say the least. Or mildly said, it is not usually the way to go. We're just saying this to wipe away the blame and shame that some put on themselves after a process where they did not fully succeed in being nourished by prana. Come on. We just gonna let that marinate, okay? So many people, I myself included, have put ourselves down in the guilt, the shame, and the blame game, right? Putting yourself into an unnecessary downward spiral because you didn't realize that this is a process, you know? In order to get to where you are now, the level of mind you have now, the level of health you have now, that was a process, right? So wherever you're going, wherever you're growing, well, that's going to be its own process, right? So Eltrayan would always tell us, you know, there's no failure here. There's nothing to look down upon, to tell yourself, oh, I failed, I'm not pranic. No. Continue to grow. Whether fast or slow, it doesn't matter. Just continue to keep walking, right? It doesn't matter how quickly or slowly we go, as long as we don't stop. As long as you keep going, you know, the energy keeps flowing. So just have that inner knowing that there's no failure here. This is a process. And every process has its own amount of time. But it is all divine. So not to put yourself down because you said, oh, I'm not succeeding, or somehow I'm impeding this process. No. You're right where you need to be, doing right what you need to do. Everyone is doing the best they can, you know. Having done the soul healing therapy with so many on this theme, I clearly know that this self-blaming expectation vibration is sometimes the very energy that might keep one away from this freedom of being permanently nourished by energy, as it is about freedom after all. Woo! Cristiana speaking in here. Come on now, girl. I love this. The very expectation, right? That self-blaming expectation vibration is sometimes the very energy that might keep one away from the freedom that they seek. Oh my gosh. So much truth in that, you know? How expectations might lead to frustrations and more complications, might lower vibrations that could be so high when you let go of the why, right? And you just embrace the now, for you're discovering how in every moment. Just allow yourself to feel. And the more that you feel, the more you reveal, right? So this is a freedom journey. This is not a restricting journey. This is not a constricting journey. This is not a conflicting journey. This is a freedom journey. And remember, key word is journey, right? Not destination, okay? But the journey. All the people that we've interviewed with the Pranic Consciousness Summit and all the ones that we've met at the Pranic festivals have stated that their stabilized pranic state was due to a combination of lifestyle and long-time spiritual practice. None of them just happened to not need to eat after one pranic process. So just chill, relax. It's a journey, and the destination might not be the one you're aiming for, but it's still beautiful. And we'll go ahead and take a pause there. So just understanding and becoming more aware that, you know, this is a journey. And what got you here won't get you there. But that's okay, you know, because you're on your own path and you approach it your own way. So that is to say that there's no failure, once again. And my friend, it is never the end. Much love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, and we'll come back for another section. Tune in next time in a new direction. Much love.